Hi, this is Patrick Villela from CADsoft Consulting with a time-saving tip for Revit architecture. In this tip, I'll show you a really valuable use for view filters to ensure that the doors in your building design have been properly reviewed. Even though I'm going to be focusing on doors, these same little tips will apply to windows, walls, basically any sort of building element. Now, here's the situation. When we're first working in Revit and we're creating our walls, our doors, and our windows, there's usually quite a few details that are still up in the air. And in fact, at some firms, there is a drafter who first places some of these elements, and they may not really know what sort of details or what sort of door are ultimately going to be used for this building. There may be someone at a later stage, a designer, who goes through and reviews these different details for the door. For example, when I select this door, I'll go up into its properties. So I'll select the door, go to Element Properties. Here we see that there are all sorts of different parameters that are applicable for a door, such as which side the push is, which side the pull is on, whether there's a closer, what sort of door frame it's going to have, what sort of material, fire rating, etc. So again, a lot of times we'll insert the door, we won't worry about these elements, but we do need to worry about them at some later stage. Now let's say that a drafter has put these doors in without giving too much thought to those details. Once the project now gets handed off to me and I have to go through and start to detail out the doors, I want to be able to see which doors have been finished and which doors still need my attention. So ultimately, this is what we're going to get to with this tip. Watch how easy this is to be able to differentiate a door that's been checked from a door that still needs to be checked. I simply go to my floor plan, I go to my view templates, and I apply a view template, and I've created one named Door Review. I click OK. You see that this now color codes some of the doors, but some of the doors are still their natural color. So here we can see that the doors that are red, those are the ones that still need my attention. So let me go ahead and demonstrate to you how we created this sort of a scenario with view templates and filters. So let's go back to just the beginning drawing. What we want to do is actually create a parameter specifically for these doors that indicates to Revit whether that door has been checked or not. So we go up into the ribbon, go to the Manage tab. We want to create a project parameter. And I'm going to name this project parameter Initials. Now I could have just called this checked or unchecked, etc. I chose to use initials because now we can actually put our initials into the field, and it just gives a little bit of accountability so that I know exactly who it was who reviewed this door. We'll group this under Other. We'll apply it to the doors and click OK. Now if I select one of these doors and go to the Element Properties, go down into the Other category, down at the bottom, you see that there is now a parameter there for Initials. We don't just want this to be a blank field, we actually want it to say Not Checked. So to do this very quickly, we'll just select everything in the project, go to our selection filter, filter out just the doors, go to our Element Properties, go to Initials, and we'll just type in Not Checked. Simple enough. So now what we want to do is go into our visibility graphics. I type in VG to bring up visibility graphics. We'll go to our filters, and we want to define a new document filter. Click the new icon, and I'll call this Doors Not Checked. So we'll go through and we'll filter out all the doors that have a filter or have a initials parameter that is equal to Not Checked. Okay? So doors, filter by this parameter. If it's equal to Not Checked, then this filter will be in effect. Back in Visibility Graphics, we want to simply add the filter that we just created. So any doors that meet this criteria will have these overrides applied. So now I'll just go through and I will change the color of the line work to red, and also for the patterns we'll set this to a solid fill, like so. I'll do the same thing for the cuts, just to be on the safe side, just so that all of our doors are consistent. Set this to red, set the pattern to solid fill. So here's where the magic happens. As soon as I click OK, see what happens to the doors. Every one of the doors in the project turns red because they all have that property set for initials. It's just set to not checked. So now I can go through and I start to review the doors. I go to their element properties and I start to establish what sort of hardware I want, whether it has a closer, etc. As soon as I've gone through that review process, I want to now just replace the value in initials with my initials. Click OK, and as soon as I do that, you see that the filter is no longer in effect for that door, so it changes back to its normal color. Very cool, huh? So the last thing that I recommend doing is go ahead and save this view configuration as a view template. So simply go up into your floor plan that's in effect, right click, we will create a view template from the view, and we'll call this doors, or let's just call it door review. Now, you could just go ahead and accept the defaults. You may want to go ahead and uncheck a few of these just so that it doesn't interfere with a scale that you may already have for a particular floor plan. You can uncheck all those. Really, the only ones we're concerned with have to do with the visibility graphics overrides, so we could just uncheck quite a few of those. Click OK. So now whenever we want to do some sort of a door check, you simply go over, right click, and you say apply the view template and apply the door review template. I'm going to jump back over into that other drawing really quick, and I just want to show you one last thing. I've created a door check schedule. If I view the door check schedule, very quickly we get a list of every one of the doors and we can see which ones have been checked and which ones have not. We can also see the initials of the person who has taken responsibility for the details for that door. So I really hope that this tip has sort of gotten the gears spinning. I think you can find all sorts of different things that you could do with these view filters. Very, very useful to take advantage of the information that's inside of your Revit model to be able to make your job a little bit easier. So thank you for watching this CADsoft Consulting Top Tip. I'm Patrick Villela, and I hope to see you on future tips.